All right, welcome to Friday Night Live. We are sponsored by Craig Fell, the owner of Blackbridge Financial in the Palisades. If you need any financial help, reach out to Craig and he'll be glad to assist you with helping you, manage your wealth and your money. All right. If you've never watched Friday Night Live before, Friday Night Live is your show. You drive what we talk about. So, whatever you comment on is what we'll talk about. I've got it set up to where your comments will pop up right on the screen. So don't be shy. Feel free to share your opinions, your thoughts. If anybody played well tonight, shout them out. Players, if coaches coached well, shout those coaches out. And that's how we'll do this thing on Friday Night Live, man. This is round 2 edition. Um, I've seen a couple of scores tonight, not a lot. So when we get to the scoreboard, it'll be some real thoughts on those games, unfiltered. But tonight, me and producer, were at Independence as they hosted Greensboro Page. I was really interested in going to this game because I saw Page, dominated their first round opponent 68-0. And I thought, they might have, some stuff here for the Patriots, and quickly learned that was not the case. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, man, it was really, really impressive the way the Patriots played in the first half. Head coach DJ McFadden was talking to his team after the game and said that was probably the best first half they played all season long. I mean, they went out there and took it from the start, man. They were up 31-0 at halftime. And I'll tell you the most impressive part of that, defensively, star linebacker Dallas Brandon did not play. So, I mean, that just tells you, how dominant Independence was, on both the offense and defense. Offensively, they had a good balanced attack. Jared Street had a couple touchdown passes. Actually, the first touchdown in the game was a touchdown pass to King Rhodes, who had a great game, over 100 yards receiving. Dominant X-type receiver who can go up and high point the football. Of course, Jaden Jones had a strong game. I see Joe. But yeah, Jaden Jones had a strong game. The offensive line for Independence, I thought, did a great job. They ended up with over 400 yards of total offense, and they were balanced, going both ways. So it was really, really impressive, from the Independence perspective. Greensboro Page, I think they're a year away. They have some guys that are talented, sophomores and juniors. But you could tell that, being in that second round against a team, the caliber of Independence, that's really, really talented. And like we said before, playing their best football at the right time of the year. It was a tough matchup for Page. Second half, you could see, Independence kind of, took the foot off the gas a little bit. But it was still really impressive, especially on defense. Ended up winning that game 45-6. We got interviews with Jaden Jones, King Rhodes, Zaire Cromartie on the defensive side, along with John Snipes, and then talented athlete Ricky Myers Jr., who scored a touchdown on a beautiful catch over the middle. So I'm telling you, man, the Patriots are really, really clicking. And they're going to face Richmond County in round 3 at Independence next week. And I'm going to tell you something. There's a ton of history between Richmond County and Charlotte schools. And, I expect that to be a really big crowd because, Richmond won a heck of a game themselves tonight over Porter Ridge, and probably one of the wildest games I can remember just watching on Twitter. 48-43. Just an incredible game that I hope is on NFHS because I want to go back and watch some of that. But all right, well, let's get to your comments here. You guys are doing a great job and sharing your thoughts here. So let's get to them here. First of all, we got Dudley 21-6 over Ashboro. Yeah, Yeah, man. We were talking on the sideline and saying, is it just Dudley and Grimsley and Greensboro? Is that it up there? Because obviously the way the Page game was going, we were trying to figure it out. But yeah, congrats to Dudley. We said on the show that was a matchup we thought Dudley could go up there and win, and congrats. We'll see. I'll try to get to the brackets again like we did last week and see what the third round matchups are. We'll see if they're updated. Thank you, Dakota, for this. I was going to do it myself, but appreciate this. And yeah, Mountain Island went up to the mountains and got it done. Our guy, Coach Dub, 7-6 over Allegheny. Defensive struggle, but I know he put a lot into game planning this week. They had a lot of meetings. That's why he wasn't on the show this week. And all that work paid off, man. And the Raptors getting into the third round. I have to ask him, when was the last time they were in the third round? But, Mountain Island, man, that's great. That's great, man. A lot of people, Coach Dub doesn't share a lot of details. And he'll never make excuses, but they've dealt with a number of injuries to key players this year. And for them to go up there and get that done is a testament, to what, him and his staff are doing with that program. And, I'm so happy for him. I'm happy for those guys and those players. And, we'll see who they got next week. So, and we might go up there and support them. Tonight we supported, Adam, Big Eye Shelby, I'm sorry. But we supported him tonight, and we might go support Coach Dub next week, depending on where they gotta go. So that's good stuff. Karen, yeah, good to see. Well, we me and producer were talking, and we turned, and producer wanted to interview you. And I turned and I started looking. I was like, well, I don't know what Karen looks like. I never met you in person. So that was one of our goals, but yeah, it's busy, but this is a fun type of year. It's a fun type of year, man. Who put all that in the comment? Good gracious. We'll get to that in a second. My goodness. Joe, when your comment came up, I was laughing because I stopped and got a Supreme combo on the way home. So we're on the same wavelength there. That's good stuff. Oh man, Armani, there he is. He said went to Northwestern Catawba Ridge. Yeah, 6-0. Oh, really? 6-0.5. Wow. Okay. Oh wow, Northwestern Gaffney next week. That's gonna be big, man. That's gonna be that might be 10,000 people in there, man. Good gracious. Well, good job for Northwestern there. Oh, I wonder if I got to see if Coach Wofford's going to dance. I don't know if they do that in the playoffs, but when Northwestern wins, he dances and they put it on Twitter. I really enjoy it. Big Tony says Myers Park, Josh Falls around the junior 3 TDs in the first half. Wow. Yeah, we saw it was 35-0 at halftime over there. I think it was a good first season for Captain Munderland and Chambers. That playoff win they got last week, that'll be something they remember for the ages. But Myers Park, obviously the bye helped them out, and they came out strong out the gate. And we'll see who they have next week when we get to the scores and the brackets. Let's see. J.R. Mabes got Watauga 47, St. Stephen's 6. Wants to shout out his old high school Allegheny on their best season in a long time. Yeah. Well, that rematch with Watauga and St. Stephen's, obviously Watauga kind of fixed some things from that first matchup where they only beat St. Stephen's by 10. So, yeah, that's a testament to what Coach Habich and that staff do up there in the mountains. And they're going to be a tough out for sure. All right, we got Joe's got Patrick Bleed, 5 total touchdowns, South Point's route of Irwin. Yeah, I saw you had those updates. I wasn't too surprised in that one. South Point has a lot of that's really, really hard to slow down and stop, man, when that offense gets going. And Irwin doesn't necessarily have the right, kind of tools to shut that down. So congrats to the Red Raiders for that one. All right. Let's see here. Kim Watts, good to see you. Good to see you. I know it was a tough, game for Palisades tonight. I think Huff won that one pretty big. I hadn't seen the final score, but I appreciate you being here every week, Kim. That means something. That means something. I really do appreciate that. Let's see. We got Mooresville look good tonight. Yeah, right on cue. Here's the chat administrator. He's got Mooresville 38-14 over Butler. J-Man over 1,000. Yeah, over 200. Wow. Man, we got to get J-Man on the show, man. Over 200. Wow, good gracious. That is special. That is special right there. He's also got 0 for Butler's a special player. That's the running back, DeMarion Thomas Wright. He's a special talent. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Coach Hales called him the best running back he's coached. And you start thinking about Butler history. That's high praise, man, right there. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I forgot about Northeast Guilford. Northern Guilford. Yeah. Good points. Good points right there. Let's see. We got Dudley at Ashbrook in round 3. Ooh, that's fun. That might be on the short list. Wow, okay. Let's see. Thank you, Trayvon. I got Ashbrook 22, Statesville 14. Beat ourselves tonight with minimal mistakes. Excited for the yeah, absolutely. And Statesville's got a number of younger players that'll be back in the fold. But Statesville led this game at halftime 14-6. And on the show we said, hey, it's gonna be a physical game. Whoever's gonna win the line of scrimmage was gonna win it. And Ashbrook went in at halftime and made some adjustments, kept Statesville off the board, and was able to get a couple touchdowns for that final margin. So in the playoffs, it's not about if it's pretty or not, it's just win in advance. And some people across the state are probably gonna say, wow, is Ashbrook really as good as they say they are? But that doesn't matter. Whether you win by 1, you win by 50. As long as you move on to that next line in the bracket, that's all that matters. So congrats to the Green Wave for getting that done right there. Big Tony back on Myers Park says also Brody Keefe had touchdowns tonight. Yeah, really talented young man. Myers Park, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. I said this from the beginning of the season, and they've had a really good season, but I still feel like people don't give them that upper echelon respect that they deserve. They're a really good team. They really are, man. All right, Andy Rodden, what's up, man? He's got Mountain Island has Mitchell next week. Oh man. I know that's somewhere in the mountains. I don't know if we'll make it to Mitchell. I want to. I really want to, but we'll see what the CFI gas card has on that one. My goodness. Let's see here. Oh, Andy, that was you with all these. Good gracious. That's a lot right there. Okay. Well, y'all take that in right there. Got Monroe over West Rowan 49-14. Okay. And then those other updates right there. We'll get to those on the scoreboard, and then some previews for next week. We'll get to those here in a little bit. All right. The Martin Husky says Kings Mountain with the upset tonight. Okay, they won. Now I'll tell you right now, DeMartin, we would not have called that an upset. That we felt like them going up to TC Rovers, and they were probably the better team on paper. It's just a matter of execution and getting it done. So I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that. Those Mountaineers are very talented. They are a very talented football team. Joe's happy about Gaffney. There you go. They're moving on to play Northwestern, as we talked about earlier. We got Northern Guilford 46-13 over Asheville. Yeah, they're a really good team. That's another team. I think they're a 2 seed, and no one talks about them. They are really good. They had several guys that are our spring CFI Mega Showcase that really showed well, and they're going to be a tough out for sure. And he's also got Monroe had 620 yards in total. Good gracious. That is amazing. Wow. I thought Independence being over 400 was great. Goodness. Man, that's Coach Sal getting it going at the right time, man. That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, Karen, if we come back over there, I'll know where to look. And I'll let you know ahead of time so we can work that out, a little better. Let's see here. Oh, there's Jay, man. Okay, I knew he was coming some point. 163 yards. Wow. Look at you, man. Man, we are proud of you. We are proud of you, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we gonna do an interview, whether it's live on the show or we'll do it beforehand. But I'll reach out to you, man. That's great. Congratulations, to you guys. Awesome stuff. Kim, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Let's see. Natasha Black's got J.M. Robinson 42, North Davidson 0. That's the Bulldogs. They're rolling again into round 3. And, thank you for sending those highlights of your son. Aiden Black had 2 big sacks. I mean, the first one was just incredible, where he has just a big-time bull rush off the end and goes and, puts a major hit on the quarterback. The second one showed, really good effort and hand usage. Dominant stuff. That was really impressive. Let's see. Chat administrators got Reagan at Mooresville next week. Oh, yeah. Revenge game. Absolutely. So y'all got revenge on Butler from a couple years ago. Now you got another chance right here. We'll get into that, obviously, next week on the show. Let's see here. Brevard won. Yep. Shelby and Chris. Yeah, I saw Shelby. Shelby put up 65 on East Rutherford. Good gracious. And Crest, my goodness. Crest was up 42-0 on Concord in the first quarter. That's wow. Cleveland County is a strong night, man. Strong night for Cleveland County. There you go. There's Joe right there. Shelby and Crest come out for more than 100 points in the first half. Oh, man. Yeah, I saw Stuart Kramer won. Yeah. We were watching Bandies. We thought they could be a bracket buster, but, Stuart Kramer got it done. That's good stuff, man. Coach Simmons getting it done, man. It's impressive. We'll see the score here in a little bit. Let's see here. Todd Bush is Kings Mountain fan. Now we've talked about it on this show a number of times. Going to the mountains as a Charlotte area school, you're gonna have to do what you did. You're gonna have to do what you did right there. You're not gonna get any favors. You got to go up there and take it, and that's what y'all did, man. So congratulations. Yep, Brian Thompson. Yep, Richmond County is gonna be at Independence next week. Yeah. It'll probably be the whole county. It'll definitely be the whole county coming up here. And, DJ already told his guys about it, too. So, that should be a heck of a football game. Let's see. East Lincoln Crest. Woo! Yeah. Woo, boy. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit for being there. That is going to be a show. My goodness. Oh, man. Chris Peavy Sr. We got Providence Day, 41, Cannon 7. Good win, obviously, in the second round of playoffs on the private school side for Providence Day. The big story here, that was a rematch. And, that was a little bit of teacher versus student right there with Coach Greer playing or coaching, I should say. Against his people now, the head coach over at Cannon School, Coach Birch. So they're going to go on to face Charlotte Christian, who defeated Raven Gap at Raven Gap tonight. I think it was 55-48 was the final score. What a offensive game that was. So that'll be at Providence Day because they're the number 1 seed, and these two schools have faced off numerous times through the years. Not only is it a rival game, it's a game with a lot of talent on both sides, and that'll be a lot of fun next week over at Providence Day for sure. Let's see what else we got here. You guys are funny. All right. So outside of some other comments y'all are making to each other, let's get the scoreboard up and we'll go through the scores here. If I can remember how to operate my screen here. All right. Okay, there we go. I'm going to take the comments off the screen here for this. Okay, so we got West Charlotte over Providence 41-0. There's Independence over Page. Huff final 63-7. My goodness. Huskies are on a mission, man. So is Community School of Davidson. Wow, 65-13 on the road at Swain County. Whew. Boy, we knew they were going to be dangerous, but my goodness. Oh, Corvian over North Rowan, 45-7. A barn burner, North Stanley over East Surrey, 49-45. Burns all over West Stanley, 49-7. South Point over Irwin, 48-13. There's Mooresville, 38-14 over Butler. There is the wild one, as I'll call it tonight. Richmond over Porter Ridge, 48-43. Porter Ridge was stopped from the 5-yard line with 1 second left in the game. Whew, what a game. There's Kings Mountain over Roberson, 21-20. Charlotte Catholic got it going, 27-0 over AC Reynolds. Good win right there. Hickory over Montgomery Central, 45-6. West Forsyth come down to Charlotte and beats Mallard Creek at Mallard Creek, 22-10. Good win for the 3-3-6 right there. Thomas Jefferson, 43-0. Maiden all over North Surrey, 49-21. Franklin pulls it out over Forest Hills, man, 14-13. There's Providence Day over Cannon. Weddington all over Marvin Ridge, 63-0. Monroe, 49, West Rowan, 14. Sun Valley, big over Olympic. I was surprised by that margin a little bit, 42-6. Lake Norman getting a big win, 28-14 over East Forsyth, moving on to the third round. I think I saw this was the third round for the first time in school history. Good gracious. I didn't know this was a score. Stuart Kramer, 60. Bandy's 49. Good Lord. What are these playoff scores? Goodness. Wow. There's Northwest over Catawba Ridge. Joe, as far as Billups goes, he did call me once, but he wasn't watching that game when he called me. So I don't know if he's aware. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Let's see. Oak Grove. Oh man, Oak Grove all over Northwest Cabarrus, 36-7. Man. There's Ashbrook over Statesville. South Stanley all over Christ the King, 38-0. Newton Con over Fred T. Ford, 24-14. Mount Pleasant gets it done, 44-34 over Tuscola. There's J.M. Robinson over North Davidson. Myers Park over Chambers. There's Charlotte Christian over Raven Gap. Reagan all over A.L. Brown, man, 42-7. East Lincoln big. Murphy big. That's a big one in South Carolina. Louisville over Abbeville. Lincolnton, ooh, good one right there. 28-27 over Hendersonville. Mountain Heritage over West Lincoln, 46-13. Pisgah pulls it out over West Iredell. Good season for West Iredell, though. 41-26. Shelby all over East Rutherford, like we talked about. Indian Land getting it done over Hillcrest right there. Good win. Let's see. South Point, really good win right there with Fountain Inn. Freedom over Central Cabarrus. I thought that might be a game, but Freedom went out there and got it done, 40-6. Let's see. Starmount all over Cherryville, 56-7. Oh goodness, Crest 69-6 over Concord. Man, what a machine Crest is. All right, so we're gonna try to go to the brackets here and see if we got some third round matchups we can take a look at real quick. We won't do every bracket. We'll start at 8A and we'll work our way down here. So now in the third round, we got Huff hosting West Forsyth. Well, of course, we'll talk about these games in detail next week on Football Focus Weekly. And then on the other side, we got Myers Park and West Charlotte. That'll be a fun one. West Charlotte did the thing where not them, but CMS limited attendance tonight for their game against Providence, and they started at 6 p.m. I hope next week that is not the case, because that is going to be a really, really big game here in Charlotte. I don't know. I'm sure there's a history, but I don't know if these two schools have much playoff history. I have to kind of dig into that, but I feel like there has to be something there. But we'll look at that, and we'll have something ready on the show next week for that one. But that's a big Charlotte game right there. All right, 7A, we've got in the third round, we got Grimsley hosting Jack Britt out of Fayetteville. Jack Britt defeated Davie County tonight, 22-20. Then on the other side here, we got Mooresville and Reagan, like we mentioned earlier. That one will be at Mooresville. Down at the bottom of the bracket, we got Independence and Richmond, like we talked about. It'll be a big crowd at that one for sure. Then on the other side, we got Weddington hosting Lake Norman in a third round contest right there. All right, and as I said, next week on Football Focus Weekly, that'll be the bulk of our show going through these brackets. Let's see, the 6A, we got Watauga and Charlotte Catholic. Ooh, interesting matchup right there. Okay. Can Catholic go up to the mountain and get it done against Watauga? That'll be a fun one to watch. Then on the other side, we got, this is a good one. Freedom and Sun Valley. Yeah, the way Sun Valley played tonight against Olympic, that is a really interesting matchup right there. If I'm Sun Valley, I don't like my chances there. They got the chops to go up there and win at Freedom, so that'll be a good one. On the other side, we got another good one. Like we said a few minutes ago, Dudley is going on the road to take on Ashbrook. That'll be another fun game right there. And then on the other side, we got Kings Mountain moving on. They're going to go play the 2-seed Northern Durham. I'm not Northern Durham, my gosh. Northern Guilford. I'm getting my Northerns mixed up. Jared, I'll make sure I'll let Phillips know. And I don't think they're gonna limit independence. A lot of that's based on past history of issues and things like that. And to my knowledge, I don't think independence has had any issues in recent years. I don't think they will, but that's just me. I could be wrong, but I don't see that, because if they did, there's gonna be, like you said, there's gonna be a riot from Richmond for sure. All right, the 5A bracket, we got at the top South Point hosting Monroe. That should be fun. And then on the other, let's see, bottom, there's that East Lincoln Crest that Joe's going to be at next week. That's going to be fun, boy. Get there early. That is going to be packed out. Down on the bottom of this bracket, we got Hickory, the 3-seed, hosting Franklin. And then we've got J.M. Robinson hosting the 10-seed Oak Grove. And the way Oak Grove defeated Northwest Cabarrus, that game is interesting. Oak Grove has some guys that can, be an issue at the line of scrimmage. And they got a good offensive balance. And I think that's what you need to compete against J.M. Robinson. So that'll be interesting to start breaking down next week. Andy, the big reason they don't is money. It costs a lot of money to rent out Memorial. And then, with it being a playoff game, unless you're going to have a huge, a huge crowd, it'll be hard pressed to make money. There's just so many people you got to pay to rent out Memorial, and it's tough. That's why you really only see the sponsored games, because if you have a sponsor who can cover those costs, then people will play there. That's why we have the opening, kind of double header or triple header up there. But that's why it's all about money. In 2025, it's all about money. I mean, it could be, but if you compare the cost of playing there versus having it in your stadium with your fans, plus the money that you'll save without having it in a big stadium like that, I mean, it's got to make sense in both terms. And I mean, if I'm Independence, I want it at my place. I mean, I'm not gonna give them a neutral site and let their fans potentially drown us out. No, I'm having that at my house, especially third round of playoffs. Yeah, I mean, unless someone makes me move it, and if they make me move it, they're gonna cover the cost too. All right, we're in the 4A bracket. Number 1 seed Brevard will host the 8 seed Burns in a really interesting game right there because Burns is very physical at the lines of scrimmage, and Brevard is as well. So once again, it's one of those games where whoever controls the line of scrimmage will have the upper hand there. Look at me doing analysis. I'm supposed to be just giving you the matchups. At the bottom of that one, we got Mount Pleasant going to the mountains and playing Pisgah. Now, Mount Pleasant, their style is physical football, so they're not scared to go up in the mountains and play, that kind of style. So that's an interesting matchup there. All right, the bottom half, we got Newton Conover, the 3 seed, hosting Maiden, the 6 seed. I feel like that's another, rematch game there. We'll do our research and have that ready on Wednesday. Bottom half of this one, we got Stuart Kramer, the 7 seed, hosting High Brighton. Well, not hosting. They're going on the road to take on High Brighton, the 2 seed. High Brighton winning tonight, 43-19. So there you go in 4A. Well, since we're going, we might as well finish it out. Let's go to 3A. Let's see. The top half of 3A, we got the 1 seed Mountain Heritage hosting the 8 seed Lincolnton. Oh man, what a game of contrasting styles this is. Styles make fights, and whoever style wins out will win this game. That'll be really, really fun to watch. And then we've got West, I'm assuming that's West Davidson and North Stanley. Let's take a look. It is. All right. So North Stanley be hosting West Davidson in that one. West Davidson winning 31-21 tonight. The 12 seed going on the road with a big win right there. Who did they beat? They beat Providence Grove. All right. Congratulations to West Davidson there. All right. Bottom half of this bracket, we got the 3 seed Eastern Randolph hosting the 6 seed Walkertown. Walkertown, our guy, Coach Tatum, big tonight. 67-0 over Wheatmore. Good gracious. And they led this game 54-0 at halftime, man. My goodness. Walkertown, we said they're a threat. If they they made that be known here. My goodness. Joe right here, he's got Newton and Maiden played just 2 to 3 weeks ago, and Newton winning. That's why Maiden is headed there. Man, okay, good stuff. I felt like they were in the same conference. That's good stuff. All right, then we got the bottom. We got Shelby, the 10 seed, going to Mount Airy, the 2 seed. That's a lot of tradition in that game right there, man. There'll be a lot of people there for sure. The Golden Lions coming into town. So Mount Airy, a 52-0 winner tonight over Thomasville. So, some people say Mount Airy ain't the same, but they still pretty dang on good. All right, in the 2A bracket, we got 1 seed Murphy Bulldogs hosting the number 9 seed Community School Davidson. Woo! Really interesting right here. Really interesting. Murphy winning tonight 57-14 over Albemarle. And we saw what Community School Davidson did. 65-13 on the road at Swain County. Led that game 51-7 at the half. Wow. Ooh. And once again, this is another styles make fight games. 2 different distinct styles. Murphy's going to run it. Community School Davidson will spread you out. and throw it around a little bit, get the athletes into space. This is a really interesting game right here. On the other side, we got Corvian traveling to East Wilkes. East Wilkes defeated Hayesville tonight, 44-7. So experience. Corvian and East Wilkes are both, well-traveled playoff teams. That's an interesting. So two interesting games right there. Bottom half, there we go. There's our guys, Mountain Island. They're going to be playing the 11 seed Mitchell. Mitchell tonight defeated Bishop McGuinness 42-12. So, and that was on the road. So, pretty good Mitchell team here. The 11 seed hosting 14 seed Mountain Island. And we might be there, depending on if we can get there or not. And then they got the other matchup, South Stanley, the 7 seed, and then the 2 seed Starmount. Starmount defeated Cherryville, like we said earlier, 56-7. And then South Stanley was all over Christ the King, 38-0. All right, we'll finish it up with the 1A bracket. All right, in 1A, we got Robbinsville hosting East Columbus. Robbinsville winning tonight 56-7. East Columbus defeated North Stokes 32-21. All right, other bottom half, we got 3 seed Thomas Jefferson going to the 2 seed South Davidson. South Davidson defeated Rosman 27-8. And then Thomas Jefferson defeated Winston-Salem Prep 43-0. 6 out, really? Good Lord. 6 hours? How are they in the West? How is East Columbus what in the world, man? My goodness. Joel, good to see you as always. Yeah, well, now Corvian's got those big guys up front too. Kamba and Fields. So that'll be a good matchup at the line of scrimmage because typically Corvian will wear down guys using their linemen. So that'll be a fun matchup there. Let's see. It's in Bakersfield. Where the heck is Bakersfield? We'll look it up. We'll look it up and see if we can do it. Well, thank you, Andy. Appreciate that. All right. That's what we got, man. So fun night, round 2 of the playoffs. We got some big matchups in round 3. We'll talk about them next week, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. on Football Focus Weekly on these same outlets. So set your reminders, subscribe to us on YouTube, or just follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and you can watch, comment, and chime in. So everybody have a good weekend. We appreciate you watching, and see you next week on Wednesday. Thanks a lot, guys.